The galaxy was burning. Stars still shined. Planets still moved. But behind this beauty, war was everywhere. For more than 20 years, the great alien races had been fighting each other. Every system had battle marks. Every space road was filled with broken ships. Millions were dead. Billions were afraid. And in all this chaos, humans were silent. No big fleets. No loud messages. No threats. They stayed in their small region of space, far from the main war zones. Many alien leaders laughed at them. "They are weak," one general said. "They hide like scared children," another said. To the galaxy, humans were nothing, just watchers. The Council of Power. In the center of the galaxy, there was a huge station. It was called the Council of Power. It was bigger than some moons. It floated in deep space, protected by hundreds of warships. Inside, leaders of the strongest races met. Today, the hall was full. Hologram screens showed burning planets. Red warning lights blinked everywhere. Supreme Commander Zarkin stood in the middle. He was tall. His skin was dark blue. His eyes glowed like fire. He hit the floor with his staff. "Enough," he shouted. The room became quiet. "Our fleets are tired," Zarkin said. "Our soldiers are dying. Our enemies grow stronger every day." A leader from the Virex race stood up. "We need more allies," he said. "We need more soldiers." Another leader laughed. "Who?" he asked. "The small races? They are useless." Then someone said softly, "What about humans?" The room froze. For a second, no one spoke. Then laughter. Loud. Cool. Full of pride. "Humans?" Zarkin smiled. "They are farmers and traders, not warriors. They hide behind shields," another said. "They never join wars," someone added. Zarkin waved his hand. "Forget them," he said. "They are not part of the story." And just like that, humans were ignored again. A small blue world. Far away, in a quiet corner of space, there was a small blue planet. Earth. On Earth, life looked normal. People went to work. Children went to school. Cities were full of light. But underground, something was changing. Deep under mountains and oceans, secret bases were active. Huge doors opened slowly. Machines hummed. Screens showed stars and maps. In one base, Commander Elias Carter stood in front of a giant window. He was human, tall, calm, serious. Behind him, officers waited. General Mira spoke first. "The Council ignored us again," she said. Elias nodded. "We expected that," he replied. A young officer asked, "Sir, how long will we stay silent?" Elias looked at the stars. "Until silence becomes impossible," he said. "The hidden work." For 20 years, humans had worked in secret. While others fought, humans learned. They studied alien weapons. They studied shields. They studied energy systems. They built new things. Not for show. Not for pride. For survival. In deep space factories, huge structures were hidden inside dark clouds. They looked like dead rocks. But inside, they were alive. Robots worked day and night. Engineers checked every part. AI systems tested every weapon. These were not normal ships. They were something new, something dangerous, something final. The first warning. One quiet day, something strange happened. In the Veltran system, a major battle was happening. Two huge alien fleets were fighting. Lasers filled space. Missiles exploded. Ships burned. Suddenly, all scanners stopped. Every screen went blank. Every signal died. Commanders shouted, "What happened?" "Fix it. Now!" Then a new signal appeared. A single blue line. It grew. It became a symbol. A circle with a star inside. No one knew what it meant. Then a voice came. Clear. Calm. "Human. This is the Human Defense Command. We are entering the zone. Stand down." The battlefield became silent. Both sides stopped. Confused. Afraid. A general shouted, "This is a joke." "Fire." His ships aimed. But before they could shoot, space itself moved. A shadow appeared. Then another. Then hundreds. Massive ships came out of nothing. Black, silver, covered in glowing lines. They were bigger than cities. They were silent. No sound. No heat. Just presence. Like sleeping giants. Panic in space. Alien pilots screamed. Unknown ships. They are everywhere. Power levels are off the scale. Commanders check data. Their faces turn pale. These ships, they are stronger than anything we have. Some tried to escape. They could not. Invisible fields blocked them. Others tried to attack. Their weapons disappeared. Not destroyed. Disappeared. Like they were erased. One ship exploded without being hit. Then another. Then 10 more. No one understood how. A voice returned. "We warned you," it said. "Do not resist." Some listened. Some did not. Those who did not were gone. The council learned the truth. Minutes later, emergency alarms rang in the Council of Power. Screens showed the battle. Leaders watched in horror. Zarkin dropped his staff. "What is that?" he whispered. An officer replied, "Human ships, sir. They destroyed 2 fleets in 3 minutes." Silence filled the hall. The Virex leader shook. "That is impossible." "They were weak." Zarkin clenched his fists. "No," he said slowly. "They were patient." A message to the galaxy. Every screen in every system turned blue. Humans had taken control. A man appeared. Commander Elias Carter. He stood straight. His eyes were calm. "People of the galaxy," he said. "For years we asked for peace. You ignored us. We offered help. You laughed. We watched you burn worlds. We stayed silent. Not because we were afraid, but because we were preparing." His voice became strong. "Today that silence ends. We will stop this war. By force if needed. We do not want power. We want safety. Do not test us." The screen went dark. The unexpected turning point. Across the galaxy, everyone understood. The balance had changed. The quiet race was not weak. It was waiting. Planets stopped fighting. Fleets returned home. Leaders locked their doors. Fear spread faster than war. And somewhere in deep space, human ships moved, slowly, silently, toward the heart of the galaxy. The storm had begun, and no one was ready. The galaxy did not sleep that night. On thousands of planets, leaders stayed awake. Commanders watched empty screens. Citizens whispered in fear. One question was everywhere. Who are the humans, really? For years, no one had cared. Now, everyone was afraid. The human fleet moves. In deep space, the human fleet moves slowly. Thousands of massive ships traveled in perfect lines. No noise, no lights, no chaos, only calm control. Inside the main command ship, Horizon Prime, Commander Elias Carter stood quietly. Large screens showed star maps. Red dots marked war zones. Blue dots marked human ships. General Mira walked beside him. "The galaxy is in panic," she said. "Messages are coming from everywhere." Elias nodded. "Let them panic," he replied. "They ignored fear for years. They will learn now." A young officer asked, "Sir, do you think they will listen?" Elias was silent for a moment. Then he said, "I hope so." 20 years ago, long before this moment, before the war, before the destruction, before the fear, humans had tried another path. 20 years ago, the galaxy was different. Trade was strong. Travel was free. Peace was possible. At that time, Earth sent its first big delegation. Human diplomats traveled to the Council of Power. They wore simple clothes. They carried no weapons. They carried hope. Ambassador Daniel Ross stood in the council hall. He smiled. "We come in peace," he said. "We want friendship. We want shared growth." Some leaders listened. Most did not. Zarkin, younger then, laughed. "Humans," he said, "you are small. You have no fleets. You have no power. Why should we listen?" Daniel replied calmly, "Because war will come. And when it comes, it will destroy us all." The hall filled with laughter. "No war is coming," Zarkin said. "You worry too much." The meeting ended. Humans returned home, disappointed. The first betrayal. 2 years later, war began. Small conflicts. Border fights. Humans stayed neutral. They helped refugees. They sent food. They sent medicine. One day, a human relief ship entered the core system. It was unarmed. It carried only supplies. Suddenly, alien fighters attacked it. No warning. No reason. The ship exploded. 300 humans died. Among them, children. The galaxy said nothing. No apology. No justice. Just silence. On Earth, people cried. But leaders stayed calm. President Howard spoke. We will not answer hate with hate. We will stay peaceful. Humans agreed. They trusted peace. Again, the second betrayal. 5 years later, it happened again. A human mining colony near a border world was attacked. Alien soldiers took it. They killed workers. They burned homes. They stole technology. Humans protested. They sent messages. They begged the council to act. The council replied, "This is not our problem." That day, something broke. Not loudly, not publicly. Inside human hearts. The decision. In an underground room on Earth, leaders met. Military, scientists, engineers. Commander Elias was young then. He listened. An old general spoke. Peace failed. A scientist added. Talking failed. A woman whispered. Kindness failed. Silence filled the room. Then Elias stood up. He said softly, "Then we prepare. Not for war. For survival. For defense. For the future." That day, Project Guardian was born. Project Guardian. Project Guardian was secret. Only a few knew. Hidden bases were built. Deep in oceans. Inside mountains. On dark moons. Humans invested everything. Money. Time. Lives. They studied alien energy. They copied shield designs. They improved engines. They created new AI systems. But they did something more. They changed their thinking. They stopped building ships for attack. They built ships for control. Ships that could disable weapons, block movement, control space, war without chaos, power without madness. The price of preparation. Preparing was not easy. Many died in accidents. Many families lost loved ones. One engineer, Sarah Lynn, worked for 10 years underground. She never saw the sun. Her daughter grew up without her. When asked why she stayed, Sarah said, "So my child never sees war." A pilot, Mark Reyes, trained every day. No battles, no glory, only simulations, endless failures. When asked why, he said, "Because one day I must not fail." Humans suffered quietly, while others fought loudly. Back to the present. On Horizon Prime, Elias watched an old video. It showed Ambassador Daniel Ross speaking. "We come in peace." Elias closed his eyes. He believed. Mira said, "Yes," Elias replied. And they killed that belief. A cry from the weak. Suddenly, alarms rang. A message came from a small race called the Nari. Their planet was under attack. 3 alien fleets surrounded them. They were defenseless. The Nari leader appeared on screen. He was shaking. "Please," he begged. "We know we ignored you. We know we were wrong. But our children, save them." The room was quiet. Some officers looked unsure. "They never helped us," one whispered. Mira looked at Elias. He remembered Earth's past. The broken ships. The dead children. The silence. Then he spoke. "Send Task Group 7. Full protection mode." Now. The first rescue. Human ships jumped. In seconds, they arrived. Alien fleets laughed. "More humans," one commander mocked. "They are too late." But then, human ships formed a wall. A glowing shield covered the planet. Missiles hit it. Nothing happened. Lasers hit it. Nothing happened. Then the humans acted, not with destruction, with control. Alien weapons shut down. Engines stopped. Communication failed. Fleets floated helpless. A message came. Leave the system. Or remain here forever. They left. Fast. The Nari planet was saved. For the first time, The galaxy saw another side of humans. Protectors. The growing legend. Story spread. Humans stopped 3 fleets alone. They saved a whole planet. They did not kill. They controlled. Some races began to trust. Others feared more. Zarkin watched reports in silence. They are building influence, he said, without conquest. A general asked, "What do we do?" Zarkin replied, "We watch." But inside, he was afraid. Elias's promise. Late at night, Elias stood alone. He looked at space, at stars that had seen too much blood. Mira joined him. "Do you regret it?" she asked. "Showing our power?" Elias shook his head. "No, I regret waiting so long." He whispered, "We could have saved millions." Mira said softly, "But now we will save billions." Elias nodded. "Yes. This time we will not stay silent." The rising storm. In distant systems, dark forces gathered. Some races did not want peace. They feared losing power. Secret alliances formed. Hidden weapons were activated. A shadow coalition was born. They had one goal: destroy humanity before it was too late. And somewhere, a spy watched human movements. He sent one message: prepare. The real war is coming. And to part 2. The galaxy was changing. Fear was turning into hope. Hope was turning into tension. Humans were no longer invisible. They were no longer ignored. They were becoming the center of everything. And the enemies were ready. The galaxy was calm. Too calm. After months of chaos, something strange happened. Battles stopped. Fleets stayed in their bases. Leaders spoke about peace. But behind this quiet, danger was growing. A secret meeting. In a dark system, far from normal space routes, hidden ships gathered. No lights, no flags, no signals. Inside the biggest ship, several alien leaders met. Zarkin was there. So was Lord Verex of the Draken race. Queen Sela of the Morven. General Croft of the Iron Clans. They were enemies before. Now, they were united by fear. Fear of humans. Verex spoke first. "Humans are taking control," he said. "They protect small races. They control space lanes. Soon they will control us." Queen Sela hissed. "They pretend to be kind. But power always wants more." Croft slammed his fist. "Then we strike first." Zarkin was silent. Then he said, "We cannot fight them openly. They are too strong. We must destroy their heart." Everyone leaned forward. "Their home," Zarkin whispered. "Earth." The shadow plan. The plan was simple and cruel. They would not attack human fleets. They would not attack bases. They would attack civilians. They would destroy Earth. Break human spirit. Make them weak again. They had a secret weapon. The Void Breaker. An ancient device. Found in dead space. It could tear open stars. It could erase planets. Only one shot. But one was enough. They hid it inside a cargo fleet. It looked like trade ships. No weapons. No shields. Perfect disguise. A warning ignored. On Horizon Prime, human scanners detected strange movement. Officer Lena Chin studied the data. "These ships are wrong," she said. "They hide too much energy." She sent a report. It reached High Command. But that day, something else happened. 3 border systems called for help. Pirate attacks. Civilian ships in danger. Human fleets were sent. Resources were divided. Lena tried again. "Sir, please check this," she said. But commanders were busy. "Later," they replied. That later never came. The journey to Earth. The Shadow Fleet moved slowly. Always in safe routes. Always behind traffic. They paid bribes. They used fake codes. Step by step, they came closer. Inside one ship, a young pilot named Rin watched Earthstar on screen. He felt sick. "Are we doing the right thing?" he asked. His captain replied coldly, "War has no right or wrong. Only winners." Rin said nothing, but doubt stayed. The day of fire. On Earth, it was a normal day. Children played. Trains moved. Markets were full. No one knew. In orbit, human defense satellites watched space. They saw the cargo fleet, cleared it, no threat detected. Then, everything changed. A hidden core inside one ship woke up. The void breaker activated. Space twisted. Light bent. Satellite screamed. Unknown energy surge. Level rising. Before anyone could react, a star-like fire appeared. A growing sphere of destruction. It moved toward Earth. Panic on Horizon Prime. Alarms exploded. Red lights filled command rooms. Attack on Earth. Unknown weapon. Elias rushed in. Screen showed the fire. His face went pale. Time to impact? He asked. 7 minutes. An officer replied. 7 minutes. To save humanity. The impossible choice. Scientists shouted ideas. Shield won't hold. Evacuate. Too slow. Counterattack. Too far. Elias closed his eyes. Then he remembered Project Guardian's final protocol. Never used. Never tested. The last wall. A system that could turn ships into living shields. It would save Earth, but kill everyone inside. Thousands of human crews. Volunteers. Mira looked at him. You're thinking about it, she said. He nodded. They will die. She whispered, but Earth will live. Silence. Then Elias spoke. Activate the last wall. The wall of sacrifice. Across space, human ships changed formation. One by one, they moved in front of Earth. Hundreds, then thousands. They linked energy, created a glowing barrier. Inside those ships, crews knew messages were sent. Short, honest. To my family, I love you. To my son, be brave. To the world, protect it. No one refused. Collision. The fire reached them. It hit the wall. Space screamed. Light blinded systems. One ship vanished. Then 10. Then 50. But the wall held. It burned. It broke. But it did not fall. After endless seconds, the fire faded. The weapon was gone. Earth was safe. But over 3,000 ships were destroyed. Hundreds of thousands were dead. Heroes. The galaxy watches. Every system saw it. Every screen showed sacrifice. Silence spread. Even enemies were shocked. Queen Sela whispered. They gave their lives for one world. Croft lowered his head. Zarkin said nothing. But inside, something cracked. The survivor. In the Shadow Fleet, chaos erupted. Some ships tried to flee. Others were caught. One small fighter escaped. Inside was Rin. He cried. They lied. He whispered. This was not war. It was murder. He turned toward human space. He made a choice. Truth revealed. Rin surrendered. He gave everything. Plans. Names. Codes. The Shadow Coalition was exposed. Galactic news exploded. Races were angry. They used civilians. They broke all laws. Protests filled planets. Trust in old leaders died. Elias's promise. Elias stood at a memorial. Holograms of lost ships floated. Mira stood beside him. We lost too many, she said. Yes, Elias replied. But they saved trillions. He looked at the stars. I swear, he said, no more hiding. No more waiting. If darkness rises again, we will face it. The coming storm. In secret, some leaders ran. Some hid. Some planned revenge. In an unknown space, a greater power watched. Ancient, silent, patient. It had seen the war. It had seen humanity. And it was interested, very interested. And part 3. The war had changed. Humans had bled. Enemies were revealed. Heroes were born. But the biggest test was still coming. The galaxy was no longer divided by borders. It was divided by fear. And by hope. After the attack on Earth, nothing was the same. Old leaders lost respect. New voices began to rise. People started to ask questions. Who protects us now? Who tells the truth? Who can we trust? And most answers were the same. Humans. The funeral of stars. In deep space, a giant ceremony was held. Thousands of human ships gathered. In the center, glowing memorial lights floated. Each light was one lost ship. Each one was a story. Families watched from planets. Mothers cried. Children saluted. Fathers stood silent. Commander Elias stood on the main platform. He did not wear medals. He wore a simple uniform. He spoke softly. They did not die for power, he said. They died for life. They chose others over themselves. Across the galaxy, even enemies listened. Some leaders wept. Some felt shame. A new alliance. After the ceremony, something unexpected happened. Small races came first. The Nari, the Keth, the Luma, they sent delegates to Earth. Then medium powers followed. Then even former enemies. Soon, a new group was formed. The Unity Alliance. Not based on race. Based on values. No slavery. No secret weapons. No attacks on civilians. Humans did not lead it. They guided it. Elias refused the title of Supreme Leader. He said, "We do not rule. We protect." The ancient signal. One quiet night, long-range sensors detected something strange. A signal, older than any known language, coming from beyond mapped space. It was repeating. Slow, deep, heavy. Scientists studied it. AI failed to decode it. One expert said, "This is not a message. This is a warning." The Watchers, in unknown space, massive structures floated. They were older than stars. Black, silent, perfect. Inside, beings watched the galaxy. They were called the Watchers, not by themselves, by legends. They had created life. They had ended civilizations. They only acted when balance broke. And now, they were watching humans. One Watcher spoke in a voice like thunder. They changed the pattern. They protect instead of conquer. Another replied, "They grow too fast. They may become unstable." A third said, "Test them. The test begins." Without warning, 3 border systems vanished. Not destroyed. Not burned. Erased. Space became empty. No stars. No dust. Nothing. Panic returned. People screamed. This is worse than war. The Unity Alliance called emergency meeting. Elias listened to reports. Weapons did nothing. Scanners saw nothing. It was like fighting a ghost. A message from gods. Then every screen lit up. Not blue. Not human. Pure white. A symbol appeared. Unknown. Then a voice. Not male. Not female. Not emotional. We are the Watchers. You have altered balance. You will be judged. If you fail, you will end. The galaxy froze. Some prayed. Some fainted. Some laughed in madness. Elias stood still. He asked calmly, "What is a test?" The voice replied, "Choice." The impossible offer. The Watchers gave an offer. They would stop. They would leave. If humans agreed to rule the galaxy, with force, with control, no freedom, no wars, perfect order, under human command. Become our enforcers, the voice said, or face erasure. Leaders turned to Elias. Power, safety, control, everything was in his hands. Mira whispered, "This is what others always choose." The long night. Elias asked for time. One night, the Watchers agreed. That night, he walked alone. He visited schools, hospitals, memorial halls. He saw children playing, doctors saving lives, names of fallen heroes. He remembered Daniel Ross. "We come in peace." He met soldiers. They said, "We follow you." He met farmers. They said, "Protect our future." He met refugees. They said, "Do not become monsters." The decision. At dawn, the council met. Elias stood. Everyone watched, even the Watchers. He spoke slowly. "We will not rule by fear. We will not trade freedom for safety. We refuse." Gasps filled halls. Zarkin, older and broken, whispered, "You will kill us all." Elias replied, "Better to die human than live as tyrants." The final test. The Watchers answered, then survive. Suddenly, space broke. A massive entity appeared, bigger than planets, made of dark light. It moved toward core systems. It erased fleets. It ignored weapons. Panic exploded. This is the end. But humans did not run. Elias ordered all Alliance forces. Unified formation. For the first time in history, all races fought together. Human tech guided. Alien fleets followed. Millions of ships formed one wall. The heart strategy. Scientists discovered something. The entity reacted to emotion-based energy. Hope. Sacrifice. Unity. Not hate. Not fear. It weakened near-cooperative signals. Elias understood. This is not about firepower, he said. It is about who we are. He ordered ships to link minds and systems. Share data. Share power. Share risk. No leaders. No slaves. Only partners. The living network. Ships connected. AI merged. Pilots shared vision. Pain. Courage. Trust. The network grew. The entity slowed. Cracks appeared. It tried to divide them. Sent illusions. Fear. Memories. Some fell. Most stayed. Mira almost lost control. Elias held her hand. Stay with me, he said. She nodded. I'm here. The Watchers react. The Watchers were silent. For the first time, they refused domination. One said, they choose cooperation. Another replied, this was unexpected. A fragile victory. With one final surge, the network pushed. Light filled space. The entity shattered, not exploded. Released, like it was freed. Systems returned. Stars reappeared. Life survived. Exhausted. Broken. Alive. The Watcher's verdict. The voice returned. You passed. You will not be erased. We will observe. Do not forget balance. Then, they were gone. End of part 4. The galaxy was safe, but changed. No longer ruled by fear. No longer by power, but by choice. And one final chapter remained. The future. The galaxy was quiet again. Not the quiet of fear. Not the quiet of death. But the quiet of peace. After the Watchers disappeared, stars returned to normal. Trade routes reopened. Broken planets began to heal. For the first time in many years, people felt safe. A new beginning. On Earth, sunlight touched rebuilt cities. Parks replaced ruins. Schools replaced shelters. Hospitals replaced war camps. Children ran freely. They did not remember fear. Only stories. Stories about heroes. Stories about sacrifice. Stories about unity. The last council. In the Great Hall of the Unity Alliance, leaders gathered once more. Not for war. For the future. Zarkin was there. Old. Weak. Different. He stood slowly. I was wrong, he said. I laughed at humans. I feared them. But they saved us. I asked forgiveness. Silence filled the room. Then Elias spoke. Forgiveness is how peace begins. The hall applauded. Not loudly. With respect. The Guardian Treaty. A new agreement was signed. The Guardian Treaty. It said, no race rules alone. No secret weapons. No attacks on civilians. All conflicts must be judged. All worlds protected. Humans were named guardians. Not rulers. Not kings. Protectors of balance. Elias accepted. With one condition. This power must end with me. No dynasty. No empire. The leaders agreed. The quiet hero. Years passed. Elias grew older. Gray hair. Slow steps. He left command. He chose a small home near the sea. No guards. No medals. Just books. And memories. Sometimes children visited. They asked, did you really save the galaxy? He smiled. No, he said. We saved each other. Myra's path. General Mira became head of Guardian Command. She trained new leaders. She taught one rule. Power is not yours. It belongs to those you protect. Many followed her. Some failed. She never gave up. The Museum of Light. In orbit around Earth, a station was built. The Museum of Light. Inside were memories. Holograms of lost ships. Voices of fallen heroes. Letters of goodbye. Visitors cried, then smiled, because they saw hope. The forgotten enemy. Far away, in dead space, something moved. A small fragment of Watcher energy. Broken. Lost. Weak. It watched. It learned. But it did not attack. It waited for centuries. But that is another story. The student. One day, a young girl named Arya visited Elias. She was curious, smart, brave. Sir, she asked, why did you refuse power? Elias looked at the ocean. Because power changes people. Service saved them. She wrote it down. She never forgot. Years later, she became a leader. Like him, a test of time. 200 years passed. Humans were everywhere, not as conquerors, as builders, terraformers, teachers, doctors, explorers. They helped worlds grow, not depend. Some races grew stronger. Some surpassed humans. And humans smiled. That was the goal, the final message. On his last day, Elias recorded a message for the future. My friends, he said, we were once silent. Then we were angry. Then we were powerful. But what mattered most was that we chose kindness. Never forget that. Strength without heart is nothing. He closed his eyes and passed peacefully. A galaxy in mourning. Every planet honored him. Lights were dimmed. Music was stopped. Battles were paused. Even pirates paused. They respected him. A statue was built, not of him, of many hands holding one star. It was called The Choice, The Return of Hope. Centuries later, explorers reached new galaxies. They carried old records. They taught new races about unity, about mistakes, about courage. The story spread. Like light, the child's question. On a distant world, a boy asked his mother, who was the strongest race? She smiled. The humans, she said, because they learn when not to be. The eternal watch. Somewhere beyond space, the watchers observed. They no longer judged. They learned. One said, they surprised us. Another replied, they chose growth. They chose life. The final scene. In deep space near Earth, a small ship floated. Inside was Arya, now old. She looked at stars. She whispered, we kept the promise. Behind her, children trained. Different colors, different worlds, one future, the last line. And so, when humans finally said, fine, I'll do it myself, they did not mean, I will rule. They meant, I will protect. I will stand. I will care. And because of that, the galaxy survived.